guys, Oscar here for notagrouch.com, and I am very happy to be here with you again. Now, today's video is going to be a little bit different. I've now made a couple of these videos where I say, I think I'm going to call them, let's talk about it, and then the topic, because the whole COVID-19 and now the civil unrest that we're seeing across the country, seems like everything is separating us, and including social media. Social media is supposed to bring us together, but people seem to be more divided now than ever, because social media, as great as it is, has a tendency to only show you and only promote things that are within your current set of beliefs or bias or preferences. And what ends up happening is that you don't get to hear what the other person has to say about a topic that you may be very opinionated about or very set on a certain particular point of view. So I had my talk with my buddy Sam, and shortly after that I had a talk with a friend named Holly. You can go down to the links in the description and find them all. And this time I talked to my friend Shante. I always butcher her name because I'm not, Shante, I think it is. And I've known her for about 3 years now. We met when she was in her early stages of social media. And the thing was, she was ready to give up. It wasn't working out. You know, she was trying to do makeup and health and beauty blogging basically, and she, you know, we talked a little bit, and I thought, okay, maybe I'm going to help her, because I try to help as many people as I can. And the biggest frustration for me with helping people is when people don't do the work. So anyway, long story short, you'll hear about it in the conversation, but fast forward to today, she now has almost 50,000 followers on Instagram. She's making money, she's getting brand deals, she's doing all kinds of things. But just like 90% of the people out there in the United States and probably across the world, COVID-19 has hit her like a train. Like, everybody's getting slammed by it. So we had a talk, kind of reconnecting to, you know, back to basics. What can we do in these uncertain times? And we ended up talking for a while, maybe about an hour. So that's what you're gonna go see next. Stick around, watch the whole interview, ask me any questions, ask her any questions. If you have any questions for her, I will make sure she gets to them, and maybe she'll make a video to answer them, or maybe she'll just give me the answer and I'll make a video back for you guys. So don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this. Don't forget to hit that bell notification, and let's get into it. Good morning, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, cool. Good. How are you?
Good, good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. Hey, I have the recording on Zoom. Is that okay, or do you want to not record it?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. How you been?
I'm good, good. Just trying to stay busy through the pandemic.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's affected a lot of people, and hopefully, are you guys are one of the states that reopened earlier, right? Or no? Or
Yeah, we're open. We're definitely open.
like completely, like you can do whatever right now?
I think they have limits on groups that get together.
On quantity, but you could go and sit down at a restaurant and do all that stuff.
Yeah, I believe so. I haven't been anywhere though. We're still in the house.
You're just staying home for now.
Yep, keeping it
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think they just in my area they just removed the mask restriction, so you don't have to wear a mask anymore unless the business wants you to.
Mhm.
So that's good. And then I think we're California wise, there's 4 stages, and I think we're in stage 3, whatever that means.
No.
But yeah, I can't wait for. I'm still gonna wait a little bit after everything's okay, just to make sure, you know, like you just stay a little safer. I don't want to go out and be part of that another wave or something, and then it's like, hey, we stay for 3 months, and then we go out and we get sick. You know, I just want to wait a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's definitely creeping up. So the trend line is definitely going up. So I don't think it's time yet.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I wanted to touch base with you because I know all the stuff that's going on around. I know it affects you deeply, and you were telling me the other day that you had some, I guess, realizations about certain companies or brands and stuff, and maybe that was hard on you. And I wanted to know, how that's going, and I mean, if you want to talk about it,
Oh
or
yeah, definitely.
yeah, tell me.
I guess I had some time to reflect, and I, went through my followers and said, okay, I realized that I work with a couple of these brands and even been paid, and they're not, they're not even following me. First, they're not following me. The second is they don't even support the content that you produce. They might tell you on the side that they like it through DMs or something. We love the content that you created for us. We appreciate you, but then they don't take the time to follow, and they don't
Yeah,
even like your post. So it kind of just looks like you just posted it on your own.
sure.
They're not even following or anything. So it just feels kind of weird. Um, so I went through and looked at all the brands that aren't following and unfollowed them, because it's like showing that I support them, but they don't even,
They don't support you back. Yeah,
they're paying, but they don't even support me. So it's, to me, that's really hard. It's like, man,
yeah.
it's one thing to be on PR. Even PR, I unfollowed them too. But one thing to be on PR, but another thing to be on a paid collab and not even be followed.
I agree. I get that all the time. Everybody I worked with gets that, and I get really annoyed when I'm doing stuff. When they come to me and they say, "Hey, can you do a blog post about it or this and that?" We'll give you, for me, it's mostly services like
Hmm.
subscriptions.
Right.
Well, and then they say, "Well, we'll give you a month or 2 months." I say, "Well, normally I want a lifetime subscription because I'm going to put a lot of work." And I say, "Look, if you're a lifetime, like if it was 5 years, let's say 5 years,
Hmm.
it's usually still less than I would charge for a blog post, right? So like maybe
Right.
it's something that's like 60 to 80 bucks a year.
Hmm.
I'm like, give me 5 years of your service.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
definitely.
I charge you a minimum of 500 to write something, not let
Hmm.
alone making a video, making Instagram posts, making all
Right.
this stuff. So and then sometimes they finally agree to that, and then like you said, they don't follow, they don't like it, or like it as in like they don't actually go in and
Like,
like it.
yeah,
And
they're not doing, yeah,
I'm like, I spent all this time and you're giving me something and you don't share it. Like,
yeah.
wouldn't you want to go and say, hey guys, check this guy out. He wrote about us, and they won't do it. And it's so frustrating. So, uh,
Hmm.
what I've done on that is
Hmm.
I make that part of the deal. I
Ah,
say,
okay.
hey, when this goes up, I need you to share it on your blog and your social media. And if you get that
Okay.
right up front, I've never had anybody say we're not going to do that. I mean,
Right.
they're like, okay, well, yeah, we'll do it. So it's one of those things that if you set the terms ahead, it's like, hey, I need you
Hmm.
to follow me, and you can always say it in a way that it's a business part of it. It's to say, look, in order for my promotion to have more credibility and trustworthiness, basically, you need to follow me back and like some of the posts, and also when I post it, please reshare it in your account so that people see it. Because some of those accounts, I bet you have less numbers than you do,
Oh, yeah.
and
Sometimes they do. Hmm.
and it would be in their benefit just for that alone to promote you, because they can say, look, this person that is way bigger than us in numbers is talking about us, so go check them out.
Yep.
And because you're doing the same to them, and people always say, well, I paid you for it. I paid you whatever. I paid you $1. I
Right.
paid you $10,000. It doesn't matter. The amount of exposure and branding and social capital that you're putting upon that brand is invaluable, because you may refer five people, five of your friends, maybe 10 people total, and those people are going to maybe and probably some of them will remain lifetime customers for that brand for the next 5 to 10 years. They're going to buy that because you said they were great and because you said they were good. And how do you quantify that? That could be $100,000, $200,000 of product sold to just 10, 20 people in the next 5 to 10 years. So you definitely should put that into your, negotiations, and do it just before the okay happens. Okay, like when you have all the terms. Hey, here's my media sheet, my numbers. This is what I'm gonna do. Da 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 da. Do you like it? Yes,
Mhm.
yes or no. And they say, oh, by the way, can you please also make sure that you're gonna follow me back and re
Remind them.
yeah, and reshare my content. And if they say no, then they say, well, then maybe we need to rethink how we do this. And don't say when you're not gonna do it, but just say it in a way to be like, hey, maybe maybe I'm too busy right now. Maybe we'll do it in a few weeks and revisit this. Um, because I I don't know that is something just about you or your situation or anything like that, but I think it's just the companies don't get it. Um, you've heard me talk about Gary Vaynerchuk, right? I know
Yes.
obviously I'm doing that group where you're in and
Mhm.
stuff, and that's the part that they don't get. Like for example, Gary talks about an app on that 64 pieces of content slideshow that I show you guys. He talks about an
Right.
app that says, hey, go and use this app to create your little short video and be done. And the app is called Capwing. Well, Capwing, you know, it's kind of hearsay because a friend told me that they've been in touch, and they asked my friend, "Hey, how do we get in touch with Gary?" And I'm thinking,
Oh.
like, you don't get it. Like, here it is, Gary promoting you in one of his biggest pieces of free content he's ever done,
Mm.
and you're not paying attention to how to get his ear. Like, you're losing. Like, you you should be talking about all the stuff that your app does,
Yeah.
promoting all the smaller brands that are using you, and say, by the way, Gary said this, Gary said this.
Right.
Be on Twitter, be on Instagram with Gary, talk to him, and then Gary will pay attention because that's exactly what he says to do. But instead, they want to go for the big hit right away. Like they want to skip everything else and jump
Jump. Right.
to the right hook. And Gary has that left, 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 or jab, 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 right hook. Um, so companies don't get it. They think, oh well, yeah, we have influencers and we have 10 influencers doing campaigns, and that's great. And look, we're in social media. We got 500,000 impressions on the first day, and they don't understand that they have to be in social media and they have to participate and they have to go and
Yeah.
talk to those influencers, and then they should be talking to the people that are responding to your post. That shows that rapport. They're building that rapport. If you make a post about a foundation or a new eyeshadow,
Mhm.
and it's brand XYZ, and you post about it and you get 10 comments, that brand should be coming to engage with those comments.
I've seen that.
you
Not
know
often, but I've seen it.
yeah, those are the brands that are the most, uh I would say, I don't want to say hip, but like they get it. Like
Yeah.
they made a relationship with you to reach your audience. Now be part of that audience, because you can't just expect to be like, hey, great, now we're going to get more sales. And
No.
on top of that, they are going to get more sales if they do that. And people see,
Yeah.
hey, here we have you that posted this stuff, and the brand is actually here talking with us. Like that's really cool. They're going to think, your audience is going to think, well, I couldn't get them to talk to me, but they're talking to her. So immediately both of you and the brand get elevated. But if the brand doesn't get that,
Hmm.
then it's a shame. And
To me, it's common sense.
it is
Yeah.
it should be, and unfortunately it's not. But sometimes you have to spell it out, and I had to do that for a few times. And I did a little bit out of my niche, but I did a post about, it's kind of like an Airbnb but for
Mhm.
camping, kind of like fancy cabins and tree houses and stuff you can rent for.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I say, hey, make sure that you mention my post. There's a lot of work and there's a lot of good info. And sure enough, they did it. They posted on
Good.
Twitter, they sent it in their email newsletter, and that was great. So, but if you don't say it, sometimes they have their one track mind, and they have, their boss that they have to say, look, we had uh, we had a post on Brown Sugar Glam, and we got 10,000 impressions, and they're like, oh great, and then that's what they wanted. They don't pay attention to, like, well, how do we carry that relationship for the next 6 months or a year or forever, and so we can do another collaboration in 8 months or in
Yep.
2 months, and they don't do it. So I hear that frustration for sure. Um, don't take it too personally. It's mostly lack of awareness on their part, and I see it with me. I see it with other clients. I see it with pretty much everybody, and even people that, I mean, I do restaurants, right? And the restaurants don't
Right.
pay. Most of the restaurants I do, I go in, I pay for my food, I try the
Mhm.
stuff. Once in a while, they'll invite me over to try their stuff. Great.
Mhm.
I'll post about them. I'll make videos. I'll talk to them, and then I post. I'm like, hey, here's the Instagram post. Here's the YouTube post, the blog post, and they will not follow me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I am local to
Wow.
I'm local to you. I
Yeah.
just promoted the heck out of
They
you,
don't care.
and
Nope.
they don't. And it can be because they're just not aware, or they have somebody else doing the
Yep.
social media and they don't communicate, so they don't know like who's this Oscar guy. Oh, great, he posted about us. And what I found out is sometimes the social media manager doesn't realize that that was a purposeful engagement. That wasn't just me being a foodie. That was me like, hey, I'm gonna write about you. I'm gonna blog about you.
Right.
And at the end of the day, they just don't get it. So
Nope.
if you point it out, sometimes they, after the fact, they will follow your stuff, but then you kind of feel weird about it. Like, hey, why do
Did
you
I
have to?
make them do it?
Yeah, like, are you doing it because I'm like begging you, or am I
Was
like
it natural?
exactly? You know, yeah, like that relationship issue. That did you ever watch Friends? That show Friends?
Yes.
So there's that thing where I forgot who's fighting, but one of the couples is fighting, and they're like, I want you to do the dishes. And he said, well, but I don't want to do the dishes, but I'll do the dishes. Like, no, I want you to want to do the dishes without me telling you. You know, it's like
Yeah.
that same thing happens with all this stuff. So, yeah, pay attention to the ones that really, really appreciate you, and especially pay attention to any brands and companies that follow you in advance.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are the ones that you want to like, hey, cool, like let's get that going instead of starting. I mean, it's fine to start with a business deal right away, but sometimes somebody follows you and they're following you for a while before they approach you, and they're liking your stuff or leaving comments.
Yeah.
They're paying attention, and maybe it's just to follow people in the industry, but maybe it's to understand you better and be like, hey, how
We
can
like
we
her.
work together? Yeah.
Yeah.
So so tell me, so what have you done after you kind of unfollowed or tried to move on from those people? What's been new down the pipe?
I think just trying to um, engage with brands that naturally like me. So I didn't unfollow everyone that wasn't Black or African American. I didn't do that because I have relationships with everyone
Yeah,
that naturally like me for just who I am and for what I have to offer.
yeah,
They like my work. So I didn't unfollow everyone. Um, but I just try to focus on maybe those brands that I miss that are African American owned, Black owned companies. I tried to focus on those. I did purchase some products to try, um, but the truth in it is that I've been using, you know, Black owned company products, and that they don't always put you on their PR either.
right.
So it's like a catch-22, and they don't always like your post either, and they don't always pay you. So you have to kind of be careful of what doors that you close. I think as a blogger, and kind of um, keep yourself open to all opportunities. Because if you just go, okay, I'm Black, and the Black Lives movements, Black Lives Matter movement is going on with revolution and and everything, just in the air, and then you kind of miss the point. The point is to find companies that actually like you, whether they're Black or white or whatever. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree, because I mean there are going to be some that uh, don't have your best interest in mind as a black person,
yeah,
and then there's going to be black companies that don't have your best interest in mind as a person,
yeah,
period. And then so you have to find the ones that care about you as a person first, and also
right,
take into account that you are an asset to them, because you know by virtue of the business that you're in,
mm,
your skin is different than than other people's, and so the
Right.
product has to be different. So
Yeah.
how do you, I know that that's been a struggle for a long time, and I think that it's been starting to get corrected in the past decade or so, where people say, hey, how come we don't have
Cheap
mascara for us?
images. Yeah.
And obviously, I think I could be wrong, but I think it's getting better. Is that the case? I mean, do you see more stuff that's catered towards you as a black woman, as
I think it's better. I think it's better. I think that brands could definitely still do better when they're marketing.
sure,
Um, what I don't like, I think what frustrates me mainly is that although I've been doing makeup for 4 years, posting, blogging, 4 years makeup, most of my collaborations come from natural hair care. I know I'm a licensed cosmetologist, but I feel like I'm great at both. And there are brands that say they like it, but they want a lot of free content. Like they want you to do the PR, get the PR, and then promote their boxes. But you know, they don't want to pay for it. So
right? They
you
want to
know,
send you, like a box of free product, and that's it.
yeah, they just want you to do it, and they don't want to follow you or nothing or engage. They just want to flood you with makeup, and then that's it. And now that this movement is going on, they want to ask for your images. You can't have my images.
For your images, like pictures, like
Yeah,
they want like
yeah,
the raw pictures just for them to use.
yeah. They want to take them and put them on their social media. I knew I was going to get hit with a lot of questions of, can we have your, we love your content. It's like,
Of
you
course,
love me, you never followed. We
right?
love your content. All of a sudden, new following from those brands. All of a sudden, they're in your DMs. Can we have this picture? No, you can't have that picture.
Right, you
You
could
can pay for it though. You sure can.
yeah, or you can share it, like use the
Yeah,
reshare button, or use what, the proper way, or yeah,
yeah.
pay for it. Yeah, of course.
I really don't like that. It's kind of annoying. It's like
Yeah.
I've been here forever, and all of a sudden you want my images.
So you're saying that this has happened a little bit more lately because of everything that's going on. Like they want to,
Yes.
and so do you feel like they're trying to pander,
Hmm.
and do you feel like they're trying to appeal to your demographic, basically saying,
Yes.
"Hey, look, we're part of this," but they haven't genuinely been part of it in the past, right?
Oh yeah, I got emailed this morning from an anonymous a blogger. I don't know who this person is because she didn't share who she was. She's just like, this brand right here shared your picture yesterday, and we just feel like it's not natural. They didn't like you before, and we all want to be compensated for these images. Did you get compensated?
Right.
Wanting like the details. I'm like, first, I'm not getting into that part, but
Sure. Yeah, yeah,
actually,
yeah.
they did compensate me. So
Okay.
maybe not for that specific image, but they had just paid me on a collab like uh, 3 weeks ago, maybe or
Sure.
so. So we have a relationship. So I didn't mind. They did ask me for my image, but yeah, some people are really upset with that.
Yeah, I get it all the time too. It's and it's tricky because you want to try, you want to obviously get paid, and you want to get, you know compensated for all the effort, because
Mhm.
people think, oh, you just set up your ring light and took a picture. It's like, no, it takes.
It's so much more
I'm
involved.
I might have taken 15 pictures to get a good one. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then, if you have a family, if you're at home, of course, then you have people walking in,
yeah,
distraction, and then
all the
so,
time. Hmm.
yeah, and you think, oh, that took a minute to take a photo. It's like, no, maybe it took half an hour to get that photo.
Yeah.
There's times where I spend 20 minutes creating a YouTube thumbnail, and that's
Mm.
for me. Imagine what I have to do for a brand. It's like I have to really
Mm.
spend a good amount of time,
Right.
and they don't appreciate it. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting situation, because a lot of this is changing for two reasons: the COVID-19
Mm-hmm.
and the Black Lives Matter stuff. So I'm being told that I shouldn't talk about certain topics, and I'm like, well,
You should talk about it.
yeah. They're like, well, you're not black. I'm like, but I have an opinion, and I have my perspective,
Yeah,
and I've always been supportive of everybody, every
that's
single
right. You
person.
have.
Yeah, and
You felt me from the beginning.
yeah, I was just thinking, like, when did we meet? I think we met when you had like 2,000 or 3,000
Yeah,
followers or
yeah, I
something.
had no followers. I had no followers.
Yeah.
I know what to do. I almost quit many
I
times.
know you told me, hey, I'm at the end of the rope. I'm
I'm
done.
like, you're like, don't quit. Whatever you do, Shantae, don't quit.
Yeah, and
Take 2 weeks off, don't quit.
that's right. And do you remember why I helped you so much? Like, obviously, I liked what you were doing as a person,
Mhm.
and I like you.
Right.
But do you understand why? I mean, do you remember me telling you why? Because somebody tried to say that it was because I'm trying to get a token person in my group. I'm like, that's
What?
not. You would not believe the stuff. You would not believe the stuff I've gotten because somebody said, "Oh, you when have you helped a person of color for free?" Because I see that you offer free help to a lot of people, but I'm like,
Wow.
I do it all the time.
Oh, oh, years.
But
Years, right?
yeah, but I told them, hey, I help those people that help themselves, and
Right.
that's why I told you. Remember, I said,
Yeah.
look, the reason I'm willing to work with you and meet with you all the time is because you are busting your butt.
Yeah, I show
Like,
effort.
yeah, you show the effort, and I told you, hey, and just with like everybody, out of 10 people, maybe one or two people actually do the work. And I said, do this on your blog, do this. And I told you that trick about buying products, right? And returning if you need it,
Yep.
just buying a product and playing along as if it was a sponsored product. And I was so happily surprised after like 2 or 3 weeks, you came back and say, hey, I'm doing it and it works. And I
I'm doing
looked and
all the stuff you told me, all of it. I had wrote down
yeah,
my list. I always write my list out and
yeah.
check it off.
So that's what got me, yeah, that's what got me excited that you were doing it. It's like, hey, she's putting in the work, and I
Mhm.
don't care what color you are or what gender you are. It's like I work with the people that want to work. You know,
Right.
if I get this on a weekly basis, sometimes several times a day, but like, hey, how do I get more traffic to my blog? How do I get this? I said, and I said, where's your blog? I wanna get paid with AdSense. Okay, let me go look. And they have one blog post that they did a month ago. One. And I say, well, and I tell them nicely, hey, I will
Mm,
help you, but show me 30 blog posts. In the next 30 days or 45 days, if you need to, write 30 blog posts, then come back to me.
mhm.
They don't come back. They come back 10 days later. It's like, well, can you just help me? Because I don't know how to get 30. I'm like, you have to get it. Like, you have to show me if you want, if you don't want me to charge you, if you don't want to pay, then show me that you really want it. Because
Yeah.
I'm not going to put in all this effort for you to say, oh, I don't want to do this. And you quit after 10.
Oh,
It's like,
that's
that's
such
the
a
worst.
waste. That's a waste.
Yes. So, um, how are you? Obviously, for everybody, I mean, including me, a lot of the sponsored opportunities are diminishing right now because the lockdown happened and
Mhm.
people don't have money to spend on brands, and brands don't want to spend the money
Yep.
on us because they say, well, we don't have a storefront. We can pay Google, 50 cents
Right.
a click or $1 a click to get ads or whatever, Facebook, Twitter, all the different ad networks. So, and I have some ideas for you, but I want to know, like, what are you doing to, kind of maintain your income and either raise
Mm.
it or, you know,
Well, it's a challenge right now. To be honest, my goal is just to be here after the pandemic and after the movement because I feel like everything's at a standstill because companies either don't have the income um, or they don't have the resources to send you the product because everything has slowed down and they're more focused on the current orders and just being able to keep up because a lot of people are still at home. I talked
right,
to other brands that I have relationships with, and they say we really want to work with you, but we truly can't right now. A lot of us are at home, so we are not even sending boxes out until orders come in that they have to send out.
right,
So what I've been doing is I tried one thing. I tried to reach out to all the brands that I already had a relationship with and offer them discounted posts just to stay active
sure,
with, and keep the relationship going. Um, some of them reached back out. Some of them I didn't hear from at all. I did like half off. Hey, I'm just going to offer you a couple different things just to stay engaged with my audience and just keep reminding them of that I use your product still and that I love your product. No, so but other than that, I've just been just doing things just that I think people would be interested in.
sure.
but that's it.
Have you? I was thinking about it this morning, and this was going to be what kind of my suggestion would be for you.
Hmm.
You're you have the paper credit and the street credit. Like you have the cosmetology degree or
Yes.
certification, right?
Hmm.
Um, but you've also been doing it, so you have both. Like, hey, I do it, and I'm licensed and certified for this.
Yes, I am.
Have
Hmm.
you thought about creating a makeup course? Because I see a lot of people in your space do what you do, which is,
Hmm.
hey, I'm going to show you how to create a Friday night clubbing look or interview look, and
Hmm.
hair up this way, hair down this way, all that. But I think so. Whenever I look at a client
Hmm.
that's trying to do content, you look at there's the stages of the consumer, which is when they get their idea that they want something or they want to do something, and then there's a research period.
Hmm.
Then they start doing some stuff, and then they start learning more, and then they decide to take the first step and buy something to that, and then later on they are devoted consumers of that. And that happens across the board for anything from multi-million dollar construction deals to somebody buying scissors. Like people, I mean, not taking account impulse buys when you go to a store or you go to Amazon and say, oh, I want to buy this and that. That's a little bit
Hmm.
different. But if somebody says, you know what, I like how I like how Jenny does her makeup and I want to learn to do makeup.
Hmm.
Right now, you are in the position where people, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but you're in the position where they're already a little bit into that journey and they want to see, well, how do I do you know, casual toned down makeup for just a cocktail night? And then they go and look at that and they find you, but they already know the basics. And what I was thinking is that you may want to create, because the brands are obviously, I think even after the reopen, I think this is going to last for a while. They're going to be gun shy about spending money on us as influencers, on us as bloggers, video bloggers, because if they survive this for 3 months, 4 months, they're obviously going to look at their bottom line and say, well, how did we do without these people? Like, did we do okay? Like,
Ah,
how much
how do we manage without this extra expense?
yeah, if we were able to do it for 4 months, why can't we
Hmm.
do this moving forward? And they're going to cut back on budgets no matter what, unless they went the complete opposite way and say, look, this is our lifeblood, and we put in so much money into them. Now we need to ramp it up. So those are going to be the exceptions. But so putting the companies aside, who is the other largest source of income that you could have? Is the consumers.
Right.
Is your neighbors, your friends, your everybody that's there. If you go to a cocktail hour, people are like, oh, your makeup looks amazing. How did you do that?
Yeah.
You can say, well, yeah, follow me on Instagram and you're going to learn. But that's going to take a while for them to like follow you and then wait for a post to come, or then have to scroll down to find the one. But if you had a course that says, you put on your website, say,
Good idea.
learn to do amazing makeup for yourself, and you have a beginner course, and maybe you sell it for, I don't know the pricing. No, and then you and I can talk later again
Mhm.
to figure out the pricing if you want. But it could be that you have three levels, like beginning, like how do you apply foundation, how do you apply mascara, whatever it is. And I'm only talking about the very little things that I know about makeup. But
Mhm.
do a course like that, maybe 3 lessons, 15 minutes each. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And
Mhm.
especially you're targeting the Black community because you have knowledge about it, not only from a certified cosmetologist, but because you are Black, right? So you can
Right.
explain that in a way that somebody with 1 million followers but is white may not understand the nuance of how do you cover, you know, a blemish when,
Right.
what products do you actually need? You know,
Mhm.
there's Jeffree Star that's like a makeup mogul, but does he speak to the Black community? I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, no, he doesn't really.
Right. And so it doesn't matter that there's other people that are huge and bigger and stuff because you
Mhm.
have a unique voice. And so what you do is you create those videos, and it could be three or it could be five. I don't know. but you make them short and very, very direct and very focused. Like how to apply mascara, and then you do it, and then you do how to apply foundation, and then how to apply lip liner and lipstick, and you make those all, and then you make that a paid course, and you say, hey, if you
Mhm.
want to learn for free, go check out my Instagram. I post stuff every day. You can learn and pick and choose. But you want to have a step by step from one source that walks you through from beginning to end on how to look amazing every time you go out. My course is, and you charge $15 for it or $10, and it's automatic. It's on your website.
Mm.
Your videos are done once, and they last for the next 3 years. And imagine, I mean, imagine if you sold three of those a day, every day. You know, you have a huge following. If you sold three of those a day, every 30 days, let's do a quick calculation. Let's say that you price them at $15 and
Mhm.
times three, 45 times 30. So it's $1,350 per month. But
Mm.
you multiply that by 12. So that's $16,000. And that's for course one, for the beginning basics of just the basic of how to apply it. And then you say,
Mhm.
well, now let's get fancy. Let's mix some colors up. Let's do an outrageous look, like a gold look or
Mhm.
whatever. And then you put that as a second course, and maybe that has only three modules, three videos, and you sell that for another 15, $20. And maybe you only sell one of those a day.
Mhm.
So now you have 45 plus another $15 every day. And it just keeps building and building and building. And all of a sudden, you're still doing everything you're doing, but in the process of you doing your new Instagram post,
Mhm.
you pause for a second and say, hey, if you guys want to know how this was done, go check out my course. It's online, it's on my website. Go check it out. And you just keep doing what you're doing, but you're also promoting your brand because,
Wow.
as you've noticed, the brands are not really reliable, and sometimes they
Ah,
are.
yeah, they're not.
Yeah, so you could be your own brand. And then I don't think I've ever told you about this, but they are white labeling of any product almost, especially in healthcare and beauty. So let's say that you do this for 6 months and it's working out great. You
Mhm.
could go talk to a white labeler company and say, hey, can you make this for me and put my label on it? And then after a month or two, you have brown sugar glam brand or whatever. And that's like, hey, you know, and it's not as cost prohibitive as people think it is. Most of the time, they want a small deposit between 500 to $2,000 just to get your labels running, get your bottles running. But then they're making makeup en masse for thousands of, maybe hundreds of brands, and you're just taking one of them and say, hey, I want you to add 5% more of this bronze colorant or whatever,
Mhm.
and then put my label on it, and then they fulfill it, they ship it. All you do is say, hey, go buy my brand. It's right here. And
That easy?
it's it's easier than you think. I'm not
Wow.
saying it. I'm not saying it's super easy, but
Mhm.
when you when you have a little bit of money and you have what you want, then you just start looking at white label and you know let me see, white label make up. Because when I go to Affiliate Summit, for example, they are 10 of those companies right there for health and beauty, which includes lotions and lipstick. Um Basically, they're one step above those companies that create um, giveaways. Like this,
Okay.
I have this chapstick. It has the
Mhm.
name of a company. They don't make it, right? They just put their label on it.
Okay.
One step above that is white labeling, where you actually get to design the label. You put your logo on it or whatever, and they tell you, hey, that one's going to cost you $6.50. What do you want to sell it as? And you say, well, I want to sell it for 25. And say, okay, good. And then accounting for shipping, storage, processing, you're going to make $7 a bottle. Now it's up to you to sell it. And yeah, you have to pay probably a monthly storage fee, and you have to be ready for that. But it is pretty straightforward. You can do that for vitamins, healthcare. I mean,
Mm.
almost anything. And but because of the low cost of entry, I would think that the best thing for you would be to do a video course. Video courses on everything. And once you have two or three, like beginning, intermediate, advanced, you can start bundling them up. Say, hey, it's $15 each, or $40 for all three, and then in 3 months you create another one that says, clubbing looks. And now it's when you all the videos that you've been doing from Instagram, you turn those into an actual course to say, hey, this is this is what you do for the summer. This is what you do for the winter. This is a color theory that you need to know when when it's spring. Um, and you make those and you sell those independently for a little bit less, or you bundle everything for like say $99. You know,
Mm.
and then I can tell you more about pricing too. Like you could do those courses standalone, people get it and be done,
Mm.
or you can make a membership and say, hey, you buy the course and you get a weekly hour-long video of my makeup just for members only. And then that instead of being $15, maybe it's $25,
Mhm.
and $25 a month. And imagine if you have 100 people paying $25 a month just to watch your stuff. People would do that. People that go out twice a week, every month, every week they go out and they want to be the cutting edge. They want to have the latest looks, the best look, and whatever. Some people will do that. You know. Do you know about Pat Flynn?
No.
So Pat Flynn is one of the top affiliate coaches, not coaches, but like affiliate marketers.
Hmm.
And he started, I believe, in the downturn of 2008 because he had no money. He had issues. He was trying to figure out, and I think he went to become a security guard.
Hmm.
So what he did was he created a course explaining and addressing all the stuff needed to become a security guard. And he's now a multimillionaire. Like he's huge. You can his website is Smart Passive Income. And after or before, it's up to you really. How do you do the makeup part? You could also do how to become a cosmetologist. And you could go through all that stuff. Say, hey, this is what you need to know. This is what they're going to ask you. You could spend a week literally going through Google businesses and finding all the cosmetology schools across the country and making a directory, and even going as far as to call them and say, hey, if I send you students, would you pay for that? Would you pay for leads for students that want to join your class? And then there's so many ways to monetize it. And you just basically you become the research on how do I become a cosmetologist. So you had to put in the work, but you could do that and sell that as a course and sell it for $99. How to become a cosmetologist. You're not going to certify them. You're not going to be teaching them, but you're going to be teaching them everything that they need to know, everything, all the resources that they can find, how they can get started. You know, there's different budgets. If they don't have money to pay whatever it may be, $3,000, $10,000 for the course, I don't know if it's 9 months, 8 months, whatever it is. Um, what can they do in advance to prepare? How can they succeed? And then what does it mean to have a license? What taxes do they have to pay? Do they go work for themselves? Do they work at a salon? Do they rent a chair? All that sort of stuff is information that people want to know. And you could be the go-to expert on that. So, there's no reason to stick to just the one thing. There's so many things that float around your core interest. So those are some ideas I think that you could
That's
explore.
great ideas.
I'm glad you think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like ready to get started. I
Yeah. Pick.
actually take a course from someone for makeup. I just subscribed which is that's why it's coincidental. 2 months ago, I subscribed for like $20 a month,
Sure.
and she's a celebrity, celebrity makeup, makeup artist.
Okay.
But she's really good. And I said, I saw her Instagram. I said, you know what? I want to learn more. I mean, it
Sure.
was so good. And what I noticed is she doesn't have a YouTube, so you can't learn anything from her. But what she had for free,
Right.
you have to go to her website. When you go to her website, you find she has a subscription each month,
Yeah.
or you could just buy like packages for like $400, $500,
Sure.
$1,000 package. It varies, and you could do something similar to what you were talking about.
Yeah.
You know, either beginner level or more advanced.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so many ways. I mean, there's also Patreon, which is I don't I'm not a huge fan of Patreon, but there's something else you could explore as well. Um, but yeah, there's so many things, and of course, you have to promote it, right? Like you can sit here and build it all, and in a week come back to me and say, "Hey, all the stuff is built," but you still have to promote it. So you're in your blog, email list, and your social media,
Yeah.
and don't be shy about that. Don't be shy to say, "Hey, I have this. This is my thing, and I want you guys to go check it out." Because the people that support you, like you have kind of three kind of people that follow you. People that just they saw you once and like, oh, I like this, I'm gonna follow her.
Hmm.
You have somebody that follows you because they've already passed the first stage and they follow and they like everything you do, but they're probably not going to pay
Right.
for anything, but they do appreciate all the stuff. And then you have the hardcore fans, the ones that you know out of your what do you have now, 46,000, forty-five
Hmm.
thousand.
Hmm.
So out of that, it could be a small percentage, it could be 3%, it could be 10%. But those
Okay.
people you can
Yeah.
say, hey, go buy my I have a new t-shirt, and you come up with a clever saying on your t-shirt. Those people will just go and buy it. Like, hey, I love Chante, and I'm gonna go buy it and done. Like it's not a question. They love what you do, they follow you religiously. So you have to kind of address all three stages, and the people in the middle might pay for a patron subscription. Hey, just to support you, I'm gonna pay you $1 a month, you know, and it could be you basically for that level you could just post your normal videos that you put on there, but maybe the longer versions, like
Right.
back behind the scenes, like how are you setting up and all that stuff, and then you talk to them, kind of a VIP experience. You talk to them in private, all kinds of way to monetize without relying on the brands. And if you build a course that you sell a few hundred every year or a few hundred every quarter, whatever the number may be. Guess what? Those brands that have not been paying attention, they're going to start paying attention. Oh
'Cause you
yeah,
got your own thing going now, so.
and they're going to start following you because eventually they want that audience because there's a difference between, and this is the issue that brands have with social media influencers. 90%, and I'm just throwing a number out there, but 90% of the people that follow us on social media are tire kickers. They don't do anything.
Just looking.
They're just looking, they just want free, 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 give me, give me, give me, give me.
Hmm.
But the moment a brand notices that you have 1,000 people paying you $20 a month, that's 1,000 people that are willing to take out their card and pay you for stuff. Those are buyers. That's a completely different class of consumer than the people liking your posts on social media. Like these are action takers. These are people that are willing to just pay for what they want and be done. That attracts brands and attention and deals and stuff. So um, definitely work on your own stuff
Okay.
as much as you can, and obviously on your blog, like develop that as much yeah, as you have been. So yeah,
Yeah, those are great ideas.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to get
What do you
started.
have back there? I see some photo backgrounds. That's great. You have like actual roll-ups.
Oh, those. Oh, that's a. I don't know what that's a background, but
Yeah, that's
backdrop.
nice.
But what I did is it's one with like three different roles, so you could just move your roles when you're trying to
Yeah,
uh,
that's awesome.
change it out because people get tired of the same background.
Yes, of course.
They get so bored. They get so bored.
Yeah. And have you done product reviews, like not makeup and stuff, but the actual products that you use to be a blogger and a blogger? You should do some
No,
of those
not.
too.
You mean like
Like your ring light behind you, like that, those paper rolls
oh
behind you.
no, I paid for that like forever ago, but I haven't done a review on it. But I guess it would be a great thing to do because people are definitely interested in your blog setup. Like more than anything, they want to know what's your
Yeah.
room look like, how do you do what you do, You know,
Yeah, do
they
some of
want to
that as
see it. They
well.
want to see your room,
Absolutely. And they want to see like
your camera. What are you using?
exactly what are you using, and they think, it's sometimes silly, but sometimes that's the only thing they have to go with. It's like, what camera does she use? Because I want my videos to look like hers.
Yeah. What's your
Uh,
camera? Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
so definitely use those two, and then of course you can make affiliate commissions out of those as well. Amazon killed their affiliate program recently. Very, very frustrating. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't kill it, but they might as well have. Yeah, but there's an alternative now. For example, be an age photo. I think they still pay like between 7 to 10% commissions, which is really good. Um, I don't know why Amazon would do that. It's really frustrating.
I don't
With
know. Too many people making money. I've been an Amazon affiliate forever.
Yeah, and they
Forever.
they patented the affiliate marketing system back in the early or late 90s.
Hmm.
They're the ones that have had the biggest affiliate program forever.
They got everything.
And out of the blue, out of this, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, but never mind. We're cutting back like 60, 70% of your commissions.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but it felt like a backstab because it felt like, oh, now that we're the biggest company,
You
our
don't need
owner,
people.
yeah, like we don't really need you
You
guys
don't
anymore.
need you guys anymore. I see that a lot, actually. A lot. Um,
It does happen.
you can promote a brand real heavy, and then as soon as they get on their feet, you're cut. You're like, I needed that. I needed that check.
Well, not only that, it's like you've been doing great with us.
Yeah.
I could understand if they say, look, we are closing the affiliate program to new members. I get it. If they don't want to have new, great. But why would you backstab people that have been with you
Well, people that have
for,
helped you
yeah, people for months or for years?
months.
Yeah, and it's happened to me too. One of the biggest sellers I had was a physical product, and I was selling maybe $1,000, $2,000 of commissions every week, and it was great. Like, and new management came in and it's like, no, we're killing the affiliate program. See you later. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Like,
Like, okay,
okay,
yeah.
let me go take these videos down.
Well, oh no, yeah,
It makes you feel real petty. Okay, what
it
can I do to get
does.
back? 'Cause, oh,
Well, it does because yeah, I mean, of course, I like the product, but I did it also because I wanted to get paid. And
right.
so what I did is I actually changed my links to a competing product. That's it, and I got paid for
Oh,
that. Yeah, so I said, hey, and they didn't pay me the last check, which was it wasn't huge, but it wasn't like peanuts. It was sizable. And they're like, oh no, we're closing it, we're canceling, and then they stopped talking, they stopped responding. I'm like, okay. I talked to them in social. I mean, I tried to social media, email, nothing. I even told the affiliate network man, the affiliate network, and they said, well, there's nothing we can do about it. It's that network I told you, which they're great. The network is great.
hmm.
Reversion, I think I told you about it.
Oh yeah, you talking about it.
Yeah, so they don't manage payments. They just manage transact like tracking and stuff. So they were like, yeah, we can't force them. We don't have money to pay you. We don't, you have to deal with them. We just track it and tell them that they owe you this money, but we can't make them pay. And I get that, but it was frustrating. And then after that, I'm always a little bit careful. It's gonna happen. I'm sure it's gonna happen
Yep.
again. Um, Sometimes companies will legitimately have to close it down because they're losing money or
Yeah, they
something.
can't afford it.
Yeah, but you can't tell me that Amazon can't afford it. Like,
Oh, Amazon can
come on.
afford it. They just decided not to pay anymore.
Exactly. And yeah, like I said, they could have just said, "Hey, we're stopping new memberships for the foreseeable future. Maybe and just let those people in there because obviously they've been paying and still profitable as as anything. Like, but for them to just cut it, that was like, yeah, we're not kicking you to the curb, but we're just not gonna really compensate you. I mean, people were having entire business based on Amazon,
Yeah.
and yeah. So yeah, what else? What else is going on? What else you want to talk about?
I'm thinking I think that's it. I
Is
needed
that
some
pretty good?
ideas of how to do more than sustain being here until this was
Yes.
over. Hey, we could be in this another 2 years. Who knows? The pandemic. I mean, they would.
I
Hey, whenever they get a vaccine, I would assume it would be over. But until there's a vaccine, people are kind of like risking it all to just to do it, to get out here and and live a normal life. But until then, brands are going to be on pause. They're going to be on pause for shipping product. They're going to be on pause for campaigns. They're going to be on pause for so they can sustain through this as well. So I think it is time. I've saw other influencers in a similar situation. They have created like ebooks,
yes.
and they've created ebooks on how to be an influencer, how to get, let's say, 50K and people on Instagram, how I partner with brands. And I actually had one influencer reach out, a few influencers, but recently one influencer reached out to me, and I felt it was kind of like undercut. She asked me kind of, how I became me or what I do to work with so many brands. Even at my size, I work with more brands than most influencers, sometimes with twice as much as I have. I don't know, probably because I, reach out more. But
Sure.
I told her my how I do it, and she took it and put it in an ebook. She
Yeah,
put it in
that's.
an ebook. I said, she said,
Did
hey,
she even give you credit?
she didn't even give me credit. She didn't even mention that
Uh,
she's gonna do it.
that's cool.
She
That's
just
cool.
like, yeah, I just want to check you out because I want to know a little bit more about how you, because you always working about these brands, and I just want to know. So I was like, okay, I mean, you sure you want my advice? Because we kind of like equal. She's like, but you working way more. So I just gave her like all the good, and like one solid hour, gave her all the good. She was like, okay, thanks, girl. And then before I knew it,
Oh
her
wow.
ebook was coming down my feed, and then she said she could be a social manager too, because she got a social media manager too, because she just had all the goods on how to get these brands.
Yeah, that's
Shady.
that is shady and cold. But you know what? At the end of the day, either she knows it or she doesn't. And what happens is if she gets any business from that, she's gonna fall flat on her face
I
because
was like, what?
yeah.
I thought about an ebook, but I guess that's what happens when you only think about it, you don't produce it,
Well, yeah.
right?
I mean that too, but I mean that's just cold. People have done that to me in slightly different ways, but I'm a little careful now. But yeah,
Okay.
an ebook is good. You should definitely put an ebook together, and then there's two ways to go about it. One is called what's the word? Perma-free, I think. Perma-free means it's a lead magnet, right? Like I've told you before. You put it on
Hmm.
your website, download for free, and in exchange you get their email address. You could also put it on like Amazon, Kindle, or any of the platforms and make it for free to start getting a name. And the other way is to make it very inexpensive so that people don't even have to think about it. Make it 4.99, 5.99 on Kindle and stuff, and I think you get 70% of that.
Oh, okay.
Uh, One of my
Hmm.
friends on Facebook, his name is Ryan. Ryan, I can't ever say his name. I'm not sure, but he has hundreds of ebooks, and what they are, basically expanded blog posts
Hmm.
and glorified blog posts about his niche, and he's a travel and lifestyle blogger.
Hmm.
But when he goes to Fiji, for example, he'll do some blog posts and very purposefully, and then he'll turn those into an ebook. And I think he sells them for like 2.99, but he has hundreds of them.
Oh, wow.
So imagine that you sell 10 of those every day. Like you're on Amazon. Nobody's gonna bat an eye at buying a $2.99
No,
book.
just
Yeah, if I'm going to Italy and I see that this guy wrote about the city I'm going to, I'll pay $2.99. Not even think
yeah.
about it. I'm like, yeah, I want to see what this guy says. And oh, look, he has one for Spain. We're gonna be in Spain too. And then we have three of them, and then he just cranks them out every chance he gets. He adds a new one and a new one and a new one and a new one, and it's like, um, I believe he's making pretty good money from it, you know. And it's just like your course or like the course we talked about. Once it's out there and people can buy it, the maintenance is minimal. Like, hey, just make sure that you respond to comments, respond to reviews,
Hmm.
promote it here and there, but you don't have to keep building it. You don't have to go to a shelf, take a product, put it in a box, go to the post office. Like
Yeah.
it's all automatic. It's all done. You just, you know, take a payment that is less than, you don't get 100% of the sale, but you get in your commission, so to speak, which is your
Mhm.
sale. And you, I mean, you worked for it. There's not like you didn't work for it, but it's a lot easier to do that. And then what you do today persists for years, and then what you do tomorrow adds to that and adds to that and adds to that. So if you do it every 3 weeks, you add a new one, or every month you add a new one. It just keeps building up and building up, building up. So yeah, that's part of what I'm doing with that group where you're in.
Mhm.
um, I'm trying to figure out what is most useful for people so I can build a course, ebook, and all that stuff. Because I've been helping people do it for years, but I still haven't done my own. So,
Oh
you know, so,
no.
but yeah, if you don't have any other questions or anything else you want to talk about, I would just tell you to stay strong. Don't let the situations going on make you feel like you can't do something.
You can't work.
You
Yeah.
know, it's up to you to do it, and you've shown me that you are a hard worker and you're gonna figure it out. So just stay strong, stay the course. We all have our ups and downs and stuff, and you know if you want to try any of the stuff I told you, go ahead. And if you have any questions, obviously hit me up, let me know. And
I'm going to try the course one.
yeah, feel free to post in the group too. Sometimes of course I'll answer everybody that questions anything right now, but you may hear from other people that they have a slightly different take on it, or another idea um, that will help. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I'm determined to keep that as friendly and fostering as possible, that group. I hate the word safe spaces because I don't believe in safe spaces, but I want people to be very comfortable in there and ask whatever
Yeah.
they want to ask. So um, yeah, and then it's been great chatting with you. Let me
You
know
too.
how else I can help you.
You
Yeah,
too. No, I'm good. I'm gonna take a stab at some of this and get back with you. There's
cool.
so
And
much, so I have to focus on one thing.
yeah, one at a time. Just get it.
Yeah.
Even if it's basic, like get your outline for a course done, and then
Okay.
once you get the outline, say, okay, well, how many videos do I need to do, and that kind of stuff, and then move from there. And if like, don't be shy. Just ask me. Ask me if you need any more direction, or like if something's not clicking or not making sense.
Hmm.
Let me know. I'll help you out. And then obviously we were recording, so I'll probably post this on my YouTube channel in the next week
Okay,
or
that's
so.
fine.
Is that okay with you? All right.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I'll put your links and stuff. I'll ask you later on. Uh, I mean, I have all your links, so I'll probably put your blog and YouTube and IG. Oh,
Thanks.
oh, one more thing. One more thing. How are you doing with TikTok? I mean, I see your posts.
Oh, TikTok is so fun, but I don't know. I was thinking maybe I'm too old for TikTok,
No,
But
you're not. You're not.
like that's how
You're
I
not.
feel. Like they're like my daughter was telling me, she's like, we don't want to see like old people on TikTok. Like we want to see young people. I was like, oh well, I'm gonna keep doing what I do, but
Keep doing it, and then so what I would recommend on TikTok is you. First of all, you're not too old. Believe me, I follow a lot of people that are like way older than us, like 20, 30 years, and they're killing it. So
yeah, no,
yeah, the kids are just upset that we're in their
they're
space.
mad.
Yeah, yeah. So just ignore them, do your thing. But here's the thing that I would recommend for you is
Okay.
integrate your stuff into the trends. That's it. The trends that are going on.
Oh, stay with the trends.
Yeah, so like I don't know, like for example, I don't know if you like dancing and you like doing all the, like if you're a good dancer or not. I would
Hmm.
say try to do some of the dances. But for example, one of the ones that you can do right now, and it's pretty hot right now, is the mirror wipe. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
So if you did that, and like you come out, like you look like you just woke up, or you're coming out of the bathroom or something, and then you do it, and then on the wipe you're completely done up.
Yeah.
You've done your makeup like that. It will take some work, but people will be like, wow, that's cool, you did
People
it.
like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just because you use the trending tag and the trending music, that alone will get you hundreds of views, and that's how you start picking up followers.
Okay.
So
Okay. All
do
right.
that, and try
Hmm.
to try to pick up on some of the trends that are there, and wonder like, how do I do my thing into that trend?
Right.
That's it. uh you know pranks, like you know, family stuff, all kinds of things that you can do. Just look at the trending page,
Mhm.
pick some, not the top three or four, but like maybe a little bit lower,
Mhm.
you know, and don't, don't feel like you have to do something that you don't want to do, but try to integrate them, even if it's just a music or a filter. I noticed with me, one of the things I'm starting to do is green screen. When they have,
Yeah, they like that. They like that. They like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So I did one for an app that I use for timekeeping,
Mhm.
and that one day I got like 200 views, more than any other video, of course. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's the green screen part that did it. So
Hmm.
now I just need to do
You might
more.
have to do that for some products.
Yeah, exactly. Just figure out, pick up a couple trends and do it, and then obviously make sure you have your links back to your IG and YouTube and stuff. And yeah, don't pitch, but just do your thing there and grow your following. Yeah. Anyway,
That's good.
yeah. All right. So I see you smiling. That's good. And keep going. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, we'll talk soon.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.